In some ways, this is a journey, just like any other journey, and there's a part of me that is curious about this journey, and I want to know about it. I don't want any surprises.
Local production of The Journey Home is made possible in part by the Willard L. Eccles Charitable Foundation, the Utah Medical Association Foundation, extending the reach of the healer's hand, and the Lawrence T. and Janet T. D. Foundation.
There was a time when we lived together for a lifetime, when birth and death took place under the same roof. The end of life was as sacred and cherished as the beginning. Today, medical technology has extended our lives, but it's often made our deaths sterile, frightening, and lonely. There are those who say we can have the benefits of science and still experience meaningful deaths, that our lives can end in a warm and familiar place, surrounded by the people we love. From this idea, the hospice movement was born. Hospice is a form of palliative care that offers comfort when there is no hope for a cure. Hospice is a team approach. It involves doctors and volunteers, nurses and aides, social workers and chaplains, the patients and their families. They work together to provide physical, spiritual, and emotional support in the final days of life.
We meet families when the doctors and family have decided that they've moved from active treatment to comfort care, and that the life expectancy is 6 months or less, and that's a best guess. And we check ourselves along the way in recertification periods so that they can stay on the program as long as it's needed.
Life is a journey, and the dying process is part of that journey. Hospice teaches living, and we walk the path of dying also. But the living process is what we concentrate on a daily basis.
When I walk into a home, they're opening the door to me into a very personal and intimate time and place. And I think, what an honor. And to be a part of that, it doesn't get any more personal than that.
Hospice is more than a medical model. It's a philosophy, a concept that says people should have control over where and how they die. Hard to define in words, the delicate role of hospice becomes clear through the experiences of 5 families making the same final journey. Their stories are intimate and candid, unique yet universal. These are their stories of living with dying.
Hi, Joe.
Hi, Doctor.
So how you feeling?
Oh, pretty good.
Are you?
Yeah.
I'm just going to listen to your heart just a second. I think the concept is to provide that emotional, physical, spiritual support for family members and for the patient so that they don't have pain, both physical pain or emotional pain. We're trying to keep them at home, peaceful, having volunteers come in and reading and supporting them, trying to keep them at home to really treat the whole person. Good. So how's the family doing?
They're doing very good. Mean as ever.
Yeah.
They're taking too good care of me. I don't like to be taken care of like this. And they said, well, Dad, you took care of us all those years. Now it's our turn, you know.
Yeah, you're a pretty independent guy, aren't you?
Yeah, I have always been.
So we got the combination of the medicines, right?
Oh, boy, I'll tell you, they've done a wonderful job on that.
And it's probably helped you a lot not having to chase up to my office all the time and have them coming out here, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does.
So when you headed up the mountain?
We're going to try to go up for just a few minutes tomorrow to check things out then.
So I'll see you later, Joe.
Okay, thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
It's really hard for me when you mention plans to realize I am older. I've been so active all my life up in, in the ski patrol and everything in the mountains and hunting and fishing all my life and taking the kids with me, and it gives me a picture of what this world is all about. I can go to the mountains and I just feel closer to God and actually closer to all my beliefs. Especially I enjoy getting away, and I guess it's home away from home is what it means to me. It's been really great for me, for my life, and especially for my family. They've gotten together a lot closer during our news that I had this disease, and of course I've always been an independent person. My kids will always tell you that. Rather than them waiting on me and everything, I want to do things myself, and so it's pretty important to me. They just stick by me in everything I want to do. You couldn't ask for any better children than that.
Are you going to live with one of them?
No.
Are you going to stay?
I'm afraid I'm there to the bitter end.
Our Heavenly Father, we're grateful for all of our many blessings and ask you to bless him at this time, that he might have the comfort that he needs and that he might be able to stay strong and to be able to have the relief from pain.
It's been a rough 3 days. He's basically been bedridden. It is challenging. I would probably say that this is one of my greatest challenges. I've experienced death before. In fact, I was actually a hospice volunteer in another state when I lived away, and I experienced death firsthand for the first time then. But having a loved one die and seeing the whole process is definitely a challenge. And emotionally, it's tough.
Yeah, it's hard for ladies, especially my girls.
He's always said that. I'm convinced that he's stuck around this long for us. And you know we're going to be fine, don't you? When you're ready, you get to go whenever you want.
He did ask his family when they came and sat by his bed and talked with him, I don't know whether to die or I don't know whether to stay here. And his family told him to go ahead and go on with his journey. It wasn't all but probably just a few hours later that Joe did die with his family at his side.
You're doing just fine, okay? It's hard to make that decision to say your mom's going to die and to realize that it's going to occur. And then are you having more stomach pain, or are you doing all right that way? I just opened my eyes as a son, not as a physician, and realized that I have hidden behind that physician role oftentimes, and it's easier to talk about physical symptoms than talk about, the pain of losing somebody and losing your mother. So did you take me to swimming lessons? Huh? Because I remember going swimming a lot, especially when remember going to Lake Powell a lot? The very first time, when you'd have to put all the gas in your boat to go miles down to Rainbow Bridge, and we used to walk up to Rainbow Bridge. Like my brother and I were discussing, it's almost not like your mom, because you remember her when she was up doing stuff and running around and talkative and more active, and you start seeing more of a skeleton and somebody you can't interact with, and it's just hard to put the two together. So you try to remember the times that you had, the good times, and what she was like. You'll do okay. You're all right, Mom. You're doing okay. I know it's a struggle right now.
Alvarine Warren is a 69-year-old patient of Dr. Steve Warren with end-stage multiple sclerosis. She lives at home with her husband. Her problems are, number one, depression. She's very dependent on her husband, and she wants him to do all of her cares.
The disease itself is just consuming her overall, with her weight and just weight dwindling down rapidly despite what we're doing. But
with the disease process, that's how it's going to go, and so it's just going to be education. Nurses are visiting twice a week.
Okay.
The home health aides are visiting 5 times a week. Social services is going in once a week to work with the family issues.
Okay.
Spiritual is going in once a month, and volunteers are visiting once a week.
I started getting more into the hospice program because I wanted to help people die at home with some dignity. You know, it's a double-edged sword. You hate seeing someone pass away that's close to you. But on the other hand, I knew that the hospice program was giving so much support that would really help my father.
Good morning, Rhonda. You're up and out early.
Well, of course.
Come on in.
Okay, and how are you today?
Fine.
And I think it's helped my dad, focus more on my mom and give him that extra support. I mean, he was wearing out because a lot of times there's that burnout in chronic caregivers, and there's some embitterment between the two people. And so I've seen a reversal where my dad's more appreciative of my mom and working better with her because he's had that extra support and some of that burden taken off of him.
They said, when you get married, it's for better or worse? They could say, it's for better or terrible with multiple sclerosis. But the part that they do in that hour, it requires quite a bit of physical effort. And that relieves me quite a bit, so that the other 23 hours a day that I have are not quite as tiring. So I really appreciate them.
Medicine is an art, and there's a point that you just can't do anymore. And some physicians feel that, if they can't cure something, that they fail that patient. And I think that they sometimes need to step back and realize there is an end point to life. All of us are going to die. Technology is not going to keep us going forever and ever, and that it's not a failure. But if you can keep the patients comfortable and you can give them a good quality of life, that you've done the best job you could.
You take someone such as Alvarine, and she's laying there, she can't move, it's hard for her. And I can't in my fondest dreams realize or understand the courage that would take, to be able to, day after day, experience this sort of life. But you know something? Alvarine's doing it, okay? And she'll laugh with you, she'll smile with you. But I have one gift to give to her at this point in time, as any of us do, and that's the gift of our very presence. But we were talking about, Steve when he was a little boy, and, this must have been difficult for you to have been ill. I know it. But you know something? You've raised some wonderful, wonderful children. You've got your wonderful 11 grandchildren, so you've done one wonderful job. You bet you have. You know what you're going to have for dinner tonight? Since Al is your primary cook, is he a pretty good cook? No. No. Do you think, should I go tell him that? No, I don't think so. Well, I'm going to go. It's a pleasure. Any patient that we have, regardless of whether they're responding to us or not, we must always realize that they are there. They are hearing us. They want to be a part of us, and that spirit is still within them.
I feel many ways like a ghost. I know that sounds strange, but I feel like a ghost because I'm walking around with the knowledge that most people have the luxury of living without, the knowledge that I could be dead in 3 days from now. I basically was told in May that I had through November to live. All of a sudden, every single nuance of that summer became so important. Every single tree in my yard that bloomed and then went out of bloom, I noticed because I thought it would be the last time I would see it. June 6, 1999. I sit here not knowing how to write this, that I will not continue in this body, this life much longer. Last Wednesday, Dr. Pristis called me with the results of my latest CT scan. She told me what I already knew, that the cancer that I have been dreading for the past 1.5 years is back, spreading throughout the abdomen. The treatments offer little hope and are impossible for me to contemplate. They are unnatural, torturous, and toxic to my spirit. So Ben and I have chosen to be conscientious objectors. I'm going to Canada instead of to the war on cancer. I'm choosing peace. I think I know the consequences, but in my heart I feel it is right. The world has come into sharp focus. The rain, the garden, Mount Olympus in cloud cover. I'm seeing the green of spring as if for the first time.
How do you live with dying comfortably? How do you die comfortably? The few days after we were told that the cancer had returned, I was sitting at the office stewing about what to do, that action phase, got to do something, got to try and put Band-Aids on things, and picked up the phone and called the director of the IHC Hospice group here in town, and just started asking her questions. What could you do for Carrie? They took care of getting her certified into the program. It's fabulous. It's comfort that death can be a graceful thing,
and they're not afraid of it. And their fearlessness helps you to become fearless. So I have several friends that you're on their agenda to meet. Okay. Nancy comes and visits often, and so we have a friendship.
No, I'd love to.
This exhibit is about places that Ben and I both love and have a connection to, and these two were done in the art department, and it was the first year after my diagnosis, it was so painful I couldn't even go back there. I was paralyzed. Art is what I really loved as a life work. When I was told that I wasn't going to live, it was like the thing I loved doing the most just sort of was frozen because I couldn't see it through. It was really hard. But I feel like I've thawed the last couple of months. I feel like I've thawed.
Do you have enough work, nearly enough work to have a show?
Getting there. Good. And the show is in February. There's a date. There's February 6th. And it's interesting because I might not be there.
Right.
So it's kind of interesting. In some ways it frees me up, but we're working pretty hard on it. I feel like it's important to get the bulk of it really under my belt in case, because I know that my health can change rapidly. And
having had that experience.
Yeah, really rapidly. And so I want to get a lot of it done, a lot of it at least on its way.
Okay.
Hospice is incredible because they don't ignore the fact that this is in many ways more emotional and more spiritual than it is physical. Hope, I don't think you ever completely lose it. The idea of just fighting, I want to hold on to life, I want to live, I want to be here. And in the midst of all of that and the sobbing and the grief, all of a sudden there's just a feeling of peace, calm. And to me, it comes from that thing we call God, whatever your definition of God is.
Let there be a spaciousness in your awareness. And just relax into it. The hospice and hospital chaplaincy is about helping people with the spiritual issues related to healthcare problems. It's about end-of-life issues. It's about withdrawal of treatment. It's about fear about what dying will be like, which is usually about pain and disfigurement and loss of dignity and freedom, or fear about what death is and what comes after that.
All the way through this, I never was one to kind of go, why me, you know, but fear really was overwhelming at the beginning.
Of what, do you know? Maybe you thought about
pain.
Yeah.
Not death, but pain.
Suffering between here and there.
Yeah. I was so afraid of pain that at the time I really thought that like doctor-assisted suicide was the way to go. Was the, you know, if it got bad enough that, you know, I wanted a way out. I wanted a way to be free of pain. I didn't want to have to suffer.
Want to have that option.
And it was Meg and Hospice, I think, that gave me the confidence to believe that I could, that the pain could be managed, and that I didn't have to die in agony, and that I could live between then and now.
I think the opportunity as a hospice nurse is to work with families and help them see that fear of pain that they have is very real, and that there's a lot that can be done from a lot of different areas to help manage that. That includes medicines and equipment and relaxation. When you can get the pain taken care of, then you can deal with the other issues that come up around end-of-life care in your preparation for letting go.
Sure. How you doing today?
Kind of sore.
Kind of sore. So some changes since I saw you last, huh?
Yeah.
Well, let's go through a few things.
Okay.
On a 0 to 10, if 0 were no pain and 10 was the worst you could imagine, what would you rate your pain?
Today I'd say about 3.
So
higher than it's been.
Yeah. Does that hurt? To take a deep breath?
A little bit in the front. Here.
Okay. They're still sounding pretty good. Well, how did Ben and the kids respond to you being down yesterday?
Oh, it upsets them. They always feel like they're, you know, always waiting for, you know, my health to decline.
It reminds me of kind of early labor and active labor in the stages of when a woman might be having a baby, that we kind of get some false starts, but it's getting, that horizon's getting a little closer, as it is for all of us. We just don't know when.
We just don't know it. There's the joy of innocence.
There is.
Carrie Jones, 45-year-old.
Growing older.
Diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma a year ago. Had an acute symptom last month. In the last 2 weeks, she's lost over 9 inches on her abdomen and her side issues, back to about 32-inch waist, which has been as high as 43.
Wow.
She's back in her garden. She's traveling. She's participating in life with good quality. She is an insurance patient and is in her 9th benefit period, I think.
And both these cases are examples of what good palliative care can do when you're not worried about this timetable stuff. I mean, she's receiving great care and is benefiting from it, and we're worried that she's living too long. And that's a stupid perspective.
Next patient, Rick Rydalch and spouse Jeanette. Rick is a 41-year-old patient with 2 types of brain tumors. He's presenting with very limited change physically, but having more of the emotional outbursts. Jeanette is having a harder time with that, and she was very emotionally despondent yesterday. She needs a lifeline. She needs to feel supported because she feels very under-supported in the system, because this is a long disease.
How is she doing? Is she going to make it? Or is she going to break?
1, 2, 3, and good. Let me do another.
In the middle of April, we found out that the tumor was growing, but nobody would tell us how much. Finally, the doctor said, well, this is what we're going to do. We're going to refer you to hospice. And it's hard to take hospice because you feel like you're giving up on the disease. We've been fighting it for 7 years, and, to say that there's nothing else we're going to do for it. I had a lot of struggles thinking that I was just giving up. But, I'm not giving up. I'm just thinking of quality of life. I had to quit my job and be here with him. And it's going to be really hard financially. We're going to be very poor. It's going to be very hard, very scary. But we'll have a roof over our head, and we'll have food to eat, and we'll be together. See, you're amazing.
Is it?
You are.
Yeah. Looks like pretty messed up.
That's the cancer that I was telling you that you have.
Yeah. I know. To me, it doesn't seem like it's real. Maybe I don't know. I just weird to it, Like I shouldn't have it like that. Maybe that was somebody else that did that.
Denial is a very common emotion that patients and families experience, and I consider that to be a very normal part of the process, part of how we protect ourselves from facing too much too soon. But it can also get in the way. It can be a roadblock. From the word go, Rick did deny the reality of his illness. And I think Jeanette, his wife, has been very accepting, very realistic. And it's been frustrating for her. The difficulty is it's not just denial itself, it's his disease process. He has a brain tumor, and that interferes with his ability to process what's going on. Hi, Rick.
So how's it going?
Okay, how about you guys?
It's going.
Meg tells me you're interested in a DNR bracelet to wear while you're out, just in case.
Yeah.
You'd be wearing this bracelet that says, "Do not resuscitate me," essentially.
Yeah. So that means if you're dying, they're not going to try to bring you back to life. They're going to let you die in peace.
Oh, really? Just let me die, huh? Cool.
That's the hard part, isn't it? You know, I was talking to Dr. Miller about this. Not only are you dealing with your own reaction and emotions to his illness, maybe in some ways you're having to feel for him too. Does that fit, or is that way off?
I don't know.
Hard to say.
It's hard to say. I think I'm going crazy, you know? I think he's trying to convince me, and I think I'm almost convinced that nothing's going to happen, you know?
Is that right?
Yeah. And
so there's a piece of you.
And so it's hard to figure out what's reality and what's not, you know?
Sure.
And I'm just really confused and having a really hard time.
Getting a break, a regular break, is that something you need to help you have a balance?
I don't know. Okay.
Right now, my needs don't really matter, you know, and that's just the way it is.
I know, we've talked about that, but don't you think that I don't know that you can separate your needs from his totally, because you're the caregiver.
It's the same old thing.
Yeah, we keep coming back to it.
But,
how does it fit right now? Where would you put it? Rick, children, other things, you.
Yeah.
Where are you?
I'm pretty down there. I'm
right?
pretty down, yeah.
Okay.
I'm down in the hole.
Okay. Well, I just want to remind you, like I remind a lot of other caregivers, that A caregiver that totally disregards and forgets their own needs most often will pay for it eventually. And
Yeah.
if you pay for it, what does that do to him?
I'm trying to work out my needs, so.
Okay,
really help
well,
me, so.
maybe you're right. Everybody's different.
I'm trying, I really am, so.
All right, okay. You know, you can tell me to back off. That's okay.
I'll make a sign that says back off.
Back off. You just hold it like a flashcard. Back off, Lo. It's so common for a caregiver to feel helpless. Here you are dealing with a terminal illness. What can you do? What should you do? I think as a caregiver, you have to put your own needs on hold to a degree. And as you do that, you really pay for it emotionally, physically, mentally, and sometimes spiritually. So we try to help the caregivers get in touch with some of those needs so that they have some degree of balance. Jeanette, in particular, has had a difficult time seeing that. She denies her own needs because she looks at her husband and it's like, how can I consider myself because of what he's going through?
Our biggest concern is that she's going to burn out, that she won't have the strength to continue to be a caregiver, plus be a mother, with all the financial concerns, the lack of support from the state, and that someday she'll just throw her hands up in the air and say, I can't take it anymore, and bolt. And considering what she's going through, that's not an unreasonable expectation if she doesn't get some balance in her life.
Did you find anything for me?
If a caregiver burns out, you look first off to the family, if there's an extended family that can bridge the gaps, because you can't do it by yourself.
Hey guys, good evening. Thanks for coming out tonight. When Jeanette asked about a family meeting and Lo helped organize it, you guys, of you were here before. But I think we've gone along a few more weeks with how things are going with Rick and Jeanette, and just thought it might be a good idea to gather again and see how things are going. Do you have any other questions or thoughts?
If his tumor is slow growing, how come it was so fast that it showed up this last year?
I think that's hard to explain. I think it's kind of baffled everybody that even now, with the amount of tumor that Rick has, he should have far more symptoms than he does. The reason why Hospice was asked to come in, because there's no active treatment out there to make it go away. And so we're focusing on symptom management to try to keep all of Rick's symptoms under control, and so that the quality of life for Rick and for the family can be as high as possible.
I want to let you know I'm a resource as far as emotional support. In a large group, sometimes it's hard to share those deeper feelings. Does anybody want to talk about that right now?
To watch two people I already loved die. Now this one, it's really hard. And I'm not ready for it. I'm not ready for it. Not again.
Not ever something you get over because it stays with you.
I watched my mom, and it was terrible. I watched her go with pancreatic cancer, and it was just terrible. And my sister with the brain tumor, I just couldn't, I don't want to see it again.
I think you will be able to look back on this and be very thankful that you took the opportunity to share with Rick and each other and Jeanette. These are very valuable times.
I love you too.
If I love her. Like it or not. Yeah.
Be a lot easier if you didn't.
Okay. With tons of frosting. It almost looks so good. Is that the piece you want, Ralph, right here?
I want the balloons. I'll take the feet.
You like the feet? We've been together like 14 years. We've just been together so long, it's hard to imagine what life was like without him and without the kids.
Where's the birthday boy?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
And I thought, he's 6 months old, this baby's never going to know me. You know, and if they're only going to give me a year or two, he's just, you know, and I'm not going to know him. I'm not going to know his personality. But we've been together 2 years now. It's like, it's wonderful. You know, I'm watching him grow up and teaching him things, and I see him learning, and he's so smart and, you know, full of life and so much fun. And it's like, I never thought I'd be here doing this. And I am, and I'm lucky. Did you get Dad? Kick Dad. The first probably year I felt, I don't know if angry is a word, I felt cheated, that
Felt betrayed.
betrayed. Yeah, why is my body doing this? I've always taken such good care of myself. But I was mostly scared who was going to take care of my kids, who was going to feed them and dress them and love them and play with them. But in the last few months, I see everybody pulling through on those days that I'm sick and can't do anything. And I see that they are being taken care of, and they're clean, and they're loved, and they're fed, and they're having fun, and they're still laughing and enjoying life, even though I can't do all the little mom things for them all the time. So I feel much better. I feel more like I could die, and die peacefully.
Okay, now listen to me. I need you to try to slide it in. Watch out so it doesn't fall on you. Come right over here. At the beginning, we decided not to tell Kyle anything other than she had cancer and that she's sick. We said, yeah, but she's going to take chemo and some different things, and maybe she'll get better. And as time has gone on, and we've kind of come to the understanding that chemo isn't going to work, and surgery isn't going to work, and that we're approaching a point in time when the inevitable will happen, we decided that it was time to start informing him.
Yeah, the chaplain, Nancy, she comes out and sees him once a week, and she does like some art therapy, and they build things, and they talk, and she kind of gets feelings from him about how he understands things, and then she'll relate to me what she thinks he's understanding of the whole situation. And we're just trying to keep on top of things, you know, making sure things aren't getting out of control.
We play great. I have a great time with Kyle. He's wonderful. He's creative, you know, he's intelligent, he's curious, he's very aware, but I think he also in some ways feels not clear what's going on, not knowing why he doesn't have the same relationship or activities or time with his mom or dad that he used to have.
A long time ago she had enough energy to play with me. Now she doesn't.
Yeah, I know. Such a bummer, isn't it?
Nope, not that. Not really.
It's kind of like you got a mom, but you don't, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Because she has to stay in bed so much.
It does.
So when your mom dies, do you think it'll be harder?
Way harder.
Than now? Way harder? What'll make it harder?
Because really my dad does working and my mom buys the groceries.
Uh-huh.
So now...
There won't be anybody home.
Who's going to buy the groceries? That's what I'm asking.
And who's going to be here when you come home from school?
Nobody is.
Mm-hmm.
My mom will be dead. My dad's still at work. My dad gets home at always 9 o'clock.
That's a good job. Children are fairly self-referenced usually, and they're also loving, but it's the show's about them, you know, and they want your attention, and they want to be recognized, and they want to show you what they do at school that day, and they get fearful when that gets interrupted, and they get fearful when they have one parent die, because a lot of times buried in there is a fear that the other parent will die, and they know they need you. And a lot of those kinds of things can be addressed as directly as a child will allow it and reassured. You know, that they're not going to be abandoned, they're not going to be alone, that they're still special.
I can't do it. Yes, you can.
My job right now, I think, is to help him find a base with his school and with his neighborhood and with his family that is continuous for him. He needs continuity. He needs someone there for Kyle. And usually the immediate family members can't do that very well because their suffering is so intense. And their grief is so intense that it consumes their energy and time because it takes everything you've got to be there if your wife's dying.
It's almost like plateaus. We go along and then when we fall off a plateau and we fall to the next plateau, it's a sudden jolt. She gets sick or something happens and you think that falls for a long time, but then it hits and it hits a leveling point and sometimes she pulls back out of that a little bit, but we plateau for a while and we fall again. And so that's
what's it like emotionally to go through those processes?
It's a roller coaster.
Yeah.
It's it almost seems like, remember the little boy, the story of the little boy that cries wolf? Mm-hmm. There's been so many times that it seems like I've cried wolf. I've told my parents, told her parents that, oh geez, Karen's not doing very good. It just doesn't look very good. She's got this or this, and then she pulls back out of it. It's
hard to know where the reality is then.
Yeah, and some days you almost feel guilty. I feel guilty because some days you almost just want it to be over with. I just want it to be over with, so that you can not go on, but so that you don't have to deal with the anxiety of waiting.
I can write just little tidbits, for the boys, things that they did while they were growing up and things that happened in the family and, just different experiences and thoughts that I have and just little stories I tell them. I tell them lots of things about myself when I was little, things that I did and things that scared me or things that I had fun doing, and I'll be with them in spirit. I do feel that very strongly, that I'll still be a part of their life. I just won't be here physically. I can't imagine that there would be a God that wouldn't let a mother still be a part of their children's lives. I just believe very strongly that, it's such a gift to be able to become pregnant and have a baby. It's just, one of the most amazing things that you can do. And then to be diagnosed with cancer and say that you won't be able to live your whole life with that gift, it's hard. But I also know that we'll be together as a family. Everybody dies. You can die young, you can die old, everybody dies, but you're always a family. And so that's really comforting to me.
First patient we're discussing is Karen, and she is 42 years old with ovarian cancer. And until today, she'd been quite well managed. She called this morning with a concern, however. She's feeling more fatigued. She is definitely weaker, but also because of the weakness, she wanted to check to see what her blood levels were. And her BUN and creatinine are both elevated, and her hematocrit is down. And so Dr. Pristis has recommended a blood transfusion for her.
She's not short of breath, she's just feeling weak.
Just increased weakness and weight loss. She's just
It's her disease.
tiny. It
It's
is.
her disease.
It is, and although she verbalizes acceptance of that, she's not.
Yeah.
She just has fought so hard for so long that she still wants to treat each of the symptoms.
Yeah, I think the discussion has to be your fatigue and weakness is part of your disease, and unless her crit is way low, this is not going to change your symptoms nor your outcome.
I'd had a transfusion once before after I'd been on chemo for a few months, and I remembered how, what a difference it was afterwards, how much better I felt. It was like night and day. You know, here's hospice over here and here's my doctor over here, and I've got to choose, you know, who I want to listen to almost. You know, do I want to listen to the hospice nurse and not go to the doctor and say, okay, this is it, and okay, we're just going to die, we're not going to do anything to treat it? Or do I go over here to the doctor and he says, oh, well, we can give you this, we can give you transfusions, it's going to make you feel better, and you'll live another month, you know? So that's the only issue I have with them.
Karen represents an atypical hospice patient because of the length of time she's been on hospice. Our average length of stay is less than 20 days. And so when someone stays on for months and months and months, the focus can change over time. And she's gotten better at times, she's gotten worse at times. And so it really represents how palliative medicine should work, that over a long period of time, we do symptom management.
Okay. Look, there's a marble. I don't know, things seems like since I got home, this whole last week's just been wonderful. It's just been really nice. Everybody's happy and haven't had any fights, and you know, it's just been nice and peaceful, and yeah, it's a good one. Just good family time. Got another extension. Yep. I must be like a cat and have 19 lives or something. Yeah, we didn't think we'd make it this far. I mean, this is October, and last November they only gave me till February, so here I am, alive and well and kicking, having fun on Halloween night. Boo! Lately, I'd rather just stay home. So I just feel like this is my nest and my comfort zone, and I feel safe here. If something happens, hospice can be here, you know, really fast, and all my medications here, and my bed's here, and you know, just comfortable.
Trick or treat.
Guys, what kind do you want? Holy cow, there's a whole group of you. I'll move back so she can. Ready to light your cake, Kyle?
That would be hard leaving walking slow. Like, and we shall begin!
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Kyle.
You know, she has no strength. She can only go for short bursts now because nothing's changing. It's just going downhill on us. So, the wolf at the door? I don't know. Yeah, it seems like he's really close, but God, I've been surprised so many times now that you don't know. You just keep thinking and preparing for it and just go one day at a time, I guess. She could try to make it for another summer.
Happy birthday. I love you.
In our society, death is sort of that forbidden topic. No one wants to talk about dying. They don't want to talk about death, and it's always hidden under the carpets. But the bottom line is, you know, we're all going to die. Even though technologies help us live longer, we need to get back to the natural way of dying that they had years ago, of having family members being around, sharing those life closures together. And I think that's what we're going towards.
I think she's having, if you can have such a thing as a good death, at least I don't think she's suffering a lot. She's been able to control a lot of things that she wants. She's in a place where she's been all of her life for 40 years, in this house in the bedroom with people around that care about her.
It would be an important dialogue to have from patients to their physicians. Doctor, I know you're going to try to cure any disease that I bring to you, but I know you won't be able to always do that. And I want to make sure that you care for me. And when cure is no longer possible, that you care for me as I die. And to open that door.
If I had a magic wand, what I would wave over every person on hospice and all those who don't get hospice is trust. Krishnamurti said one of the kindest things you can say to somebody dying, especially those who haven't cultivated that trust, is you will be safe and you will not be alone, if in no other sense than part of me dies when you go.
When I think about dying, I think about laying in my bed and watching outside my window at the trees and the plants I love, the plants I've planted, and I can imagine my last moments of consciousness perhaps being me laying there looking out my window, and that's really important to me. I remember when I was in the hospital for cancer surgery, I was in there for a long time. Well, not a long time compared to some, but for me it was a long time. And I remember when I came home, I heard the wind chimes in my neighbor's yard, and the sound of the wind and the wind chimes after hearing these hospital alarms and hospital intercoms and being in this sealed environment where I couldn't smell the fresh air. I thought to myself then, I thought, boy, if this turns out bad and I end up dying from this, I want to die at home where I can smell the air and I can see the trees and I can hear the wind chimes.
Some days it is hard. Some days there is pain and sorrow and sadness of continual letting go. However, the joy and the gift of watching a family and friends come together at such a special time and see them build that unique bridge to death, that's very rewarding.
Hospice doesn't necessarily mean gloom and doom. It means obtaining comfort so that maybe you can have more quality of life than you had before.
It's kind of been nice because it's like I've been warned, you know. Some people die in a car accident, they never get to do certain things. Well, I've been warned, and now I'm doing those things that I've always wanted to do and I put off, you know, so if I want to go someplace, I go. I don't stay home and say, I'll do it later. You know, I try to do all those things that I've wanted to do and didn't.
I'm so glad we made it. We're here, and you know, this is just really, you know, one of the high points.
Ditto.
Ditto. In some ways, this is a journey, just like any other journey. You journey home to the core of who you are, because everything else changes. It's a really kind of an epic journey for you and your family. And it's like going on a trip, but you're not coming back. So what do you pack? What do you take with you in a spiritual sense? What do you take with you in a relationship sense. What relationships do you want to cement and bond so that it'll last the distance of that separation?
Local production of The Journey Home is made possible in part by the Willard L. Eccles Charitable Foundation, the Utah Medical Association Foundation, extending the reach of the healer's hand, and the Lawrence T. and Janet T. D. Foundation.